everybody. Hi, everybody. Aloha, we're live. How are you? Hi, Bobby.
Hi, Athena. How are you doing there in beautiful Maui?
I'm doing really great. I'm super excited to be on our Google Hangout tonight, focusing on family relationships and
Yes.
how us as survivors have interesting family dynamics sometimes. Interesting would be an understatement. It's just a
Yes.
delicate family dynamic, and last night's Twitter chat um, was very, very talkative.
It was. I think that was probably our third most busy chat that we've had in a while. We had close to 400 tweets in 60 minutes, so people had a lot to say. This is an emotional minefield, as I would put it, dealing with family relationships. So
Yeah.
we're really excited to come to you to talk to you tonight. Um, Athena, let's give a few updates on things, on where they are and where they're going. We announced to the people who are going to be in our No More Shame anthology that's publishing in November.
Yes.
So we're so excited about that. We have some absolutely incredible essays, stories, and poetry to bring to you, and we just can't wait.
Congratulations to all of the survivors that were chosen for our anthology, and we're super excited to just to welcome you and to publish you. And for those of you who are not familiar with our anthology that we're publishing, it's the very first one we're ever doing, and November 17th is our publishing date, and it is a collection of stories, like Bobby was saying, poetry and essays, and we are going to be publishing more of these, aren't we, Bobby?
We absolutely are. And in fact, next year, we're going to actually start publishing under the No More Shame Publishing Company. And we're going to start publishing memoirs of survivors or self-help books written for survivors. So we're
Yeah.
really excited to start doing that.
Yeah, definitely. Just one more way to, again, our tagline is every survivor, every voice, every story. And we just really want to encourage survivors um, to use their voice, find their voice first. A lot of
Yes.
times survivors are silenced by years of shame or unbelief from their family members or
Yeah.
minimizing or just a myriad of different situations. And so we want to encourage all survivors to not only find their voice, but use their voice. And I also was talking with Bobby this morning about starting a weekly conference call, which would be hosted by freeconferencingcall.com. And that would just be yet another resource and way for you to connect with us. So if you guys are interested in any of these resources, we have our one-page downloads that are on our website, and that is located at nomoreshameproject.com/downloadables. And we also have our free Google Hangouts on air every Wednesday, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern.
Yep.
And we have the Twitter chat that was started by Rachel Thompson and Bobby Parrish, and that is Tuesday nights, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern. And we just have a lot going on, and we also have a whole bunch of different coaching packages and VIP days and just a whole bunch of different services to offer you. Many of them are complimentary, low cost to no cost. And there are some premium items as well, but you want to just jump into the content? I don't know if there's any other housekeeping items.
Well, the only thing I wanted to talk about, and we only have a month picked yet, but Athena and I are very excited to announce that we're going to be doing the first No More Shame conference in June of next year in the state of Washington, and about halfway between Portland and Seattle, so mark your calendars now. We'll get the specific dates and details out to you pretty soon. Make sure and go to our page, nomoreshameproject.com, and subscribe to our emails. That way you've got all of our updates, and we'll get you the details, but put it on your calendar now so that you'll be able to join us, Athena and I, other coaches, other speakers, any of the authors from the anthologies or memoirs that we publish can be there, sell their books, sign their books. We're just thrilled to be putting things together for that.
Yeah, I think just before we were in the green room talking before our hangout went on air,
Yep.
and I think we were talking about perhaps the last weekend in June of
Yes.
2015.
Right.
And we really want to follow a conference model, retreat model that definitely works for most industries, and that would be, we would have premium tickets, obviously, that would be for sale and at a discounted price previously, like way beforehand, like a pre-registration.
Right.
And those premium passes would actually be a very small group of people, and that would be very intimate. Yeah, like very intimate setting, perhaps dinner. We would have a welcome reception for you. We'd spend time with just the authors and you, and just spend some real quality time. Very small group setting, and that would probably likely be on Thursday, the 25th of June, 2015.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And then most other conference participants would be arriving on June 25th, 2015, and the conference would be, it would start the 25th. Most conference participants would show up on the 26th, and then we would have our breakout sessions, our speakers, and everything else that we'd be offering for you, activities, and that would go through the 28th of June. So I'm excited.
I'm thrilled, and in the setting that we have, and I don't want to announce the place quite yet until we're ready to do the booking, but it's beautiful, gorgeous setting, not too far from the coast in Washington, in the midst of the woods, no distractions at all, and we're just so excited to be putting this together and to offer this for survivors. So put that on your calendar, start saving your dollars. We're going to make it as low cost as possible. Yeah. And we are so excited to offer that. We want to announce it now. And as I said, go to our website, sign up for our email, and we will get you more details as they are set together.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
We're just so excited. So I know
we are. What can we say?
Yeah, a little fumbly bumbly or what have you, but we just couldn't be more thrilled to be living out this dream that we have of reaching people that need to be reached, that have so oftentimes not been reached or cared for or paid attention to or nurtured or anything the way that they should have been. So it's just an honor and a privilege to serve you in this capacity.
Absolutely. And to provide a safe place where you don't have to feel ashamed, because all the people around you get it. And they know what it's like, and they've been there, and they've walked that road. And maybe they're a little bit ahead of you, and they can give you some tips, or maybe they're a little bit behind you, and you can extend them a hand. We think there is nothing more powerful than when survivors get together. Magic happens.
Most definitely.
So let me put up the one page that Athena put together today for us. And
actually, Bobby is super modest. She's the one who put it all together, and I simply make it pretty and format it because I am fanatical about fonts and colors and tints and shades and shapes and things and graphics, and so we complement one another perfectly. So the content is
we absolutely do. The topic tonight is family relationships, and I know that Athena and I, not only do we deal with these issues ourselves, but this is probably one of the #1 issues that we hear survivors talk about again and again and again is that their family doesn't want them to tell their story, that their family doesn't support them, perhaps that their family has ostracized them or puts them down or tries to shame them. The family relationships can be very toxic, and one of the big reasons that family relationships can become so difficult in childhood sexual abuse is because 90% of the time children are abused by someone they know. You know, we have so much education in our schools, and us as parents, we educate our children about stranger danger. But the reality is that 90% of the time, it's not a stranger. It's someone we know, someone the family knows, or it's a family member.
Yeah.
So that means one of two things. It means either that the family has a predator in their midst, because it's either a family member, a sibling, or a parent, or it's what we call a first a first stage relative, meaning it's an aunt, uncle, a grandparent, a cousin.
Yeah.
So for the family to admit that they have a perpetrator in their midst is very hard for them to do. Their shame and their guilt makes them say, no, I'm sorry, we'd rather call the child a liar than we would admit that we have a predator in our midst. Or,
correct.
exactly,
Yeah.
and it's sad, but it's so true.
I just wanted to point out also, by the way, if you're wondering where you can get this one sheet, you can get it on our website at nomoreshameproject.com/downloadables. And you can print that out, keep that, or refer back to it on our website. It's a complimentary resource for you. But on the topic that we were just discussing, Bobby, regarding the family dynamics and the shame that is involved and why certain family members choose to be silent or not to believe the child, I just can't help but shake the feeling that, and I know this to be true in my own family, so I'm sure that I'm not the only person, since none of these situations are unique.
That's right.
I can't help but just really point out that they are simply perpetuating the dysfunction that was shown to them. So, and it doesn't excuse their behavior of not believing us, not believing us, or not wanting to address the issue, or not wanting to confront our perpetrators, because they are a family member, a brother, a sister, an uncle, a grandfather, a grandmother, a friend, a neighbor. I know that ever since I have started speaking up and contacting family members and really just wanting to shed some light on my own story, I have been met with some interesting responses. And a couple of them have been, wow, that happened to so-and-so, and no one believed them either. And yeah, so it's like this generational dysfunction is so damaging. And we need to break the cycle, you guys. We need to believe our kids. We need to believe our nieces and our nephews. We need to believe anyone that comes to us and says, this happened. Or if they start acting a certain way, or start not wanting to be hugged or cared for by certain family members, be fully engaged with your kids. Really pay attention.
Really. Yeah. That is so true, that the dysfunction can be perpetuated, and sometimes I hear family members say things like, well, my grandfather did that to me, so I don't see what the problem is. And they learn the dysfunction aside from simply ignoring it or trying to punish the child for it. And the other aspect, go ahead, I'm sorry.
Oh, just oftentimes there are excuses made for family members.
Oh, like absolutely.
I remember someone pointing out to me that, well, perhaps that is the military. That's what they were taught, that they were just acting out, or they learned that from someone, so they must be just doing what they learned.
Yeah.
Which is minimizing. You can't minimize like that and then act like, the person coming to you and their story doesn't matter, and that it's not unique, because it is.
It is, and it's damaging. So we need to listen to children. We need to believe them. We need to get them help. That help is going to be the critical difference. Just this week I was doing some research that states that 80% of adults who were abused as children develop a mental illness. 80%, Athena. Isn't that huge?
It's heartbreaking.
It is.
Where did you read that? Maybe we could put that in the show notes.
It was on, I believe it was on the in the National Child Abuse. Now that I'm going to say it, now I'm not going to be able to think of where it was. It was on one of the national child abuse pages. I'll have to look for it. I'll look for it and put it out. Yeah, it was a huge number, 80%.
It's staggering when we think about the difference we can make in the lives of the generation after ours if we just really commit to being present and to thinking the highest and best about them and really believing it takes a tremendous amount of courage for a child or an adult to come forward and say, this happened to me. This happened. It takes such a tremendous amount of courage. I am just, we talked about this last week. I feel like I'm repeating myself, but to honestly think that it could be a lie or that someone would fabricate that type of a story for whatever reason, there's so much shame involved in admitting that you allowed someone to do that to you, because that's obviously what we're thinking, is that we allowed it. We don't, we can't somehow fathom that, it was done to us against our will, right?
Exactly. That's hard. We'd much rather believe that it was our fault than it was, especially if it's a parent. That's just, it's huge. A child just can't wrap their minds around that one.
Correct. Well, because, and if you're just tuning in, we're talking about family relationships as they pertain to survivors of sexual abuse, specifically adult survivors of childhood sexual abuse. And the relationship dynamics in a family with this type of dysfunction, this level of dysfunction, really different than other family dynamics. I know that I'm married to a wonderful man who comes from an incredible family, and they all love one another, hang out with one another, spend time together on weekends. They go out on boats together, go to restaurants together, and have potluck, and they all like each other, and it's all just, could you please pass the salt? Absolutely, here you go. And it's real. Like, I've tried to find the crank in the armor. There isn't one. They're just so kind, and it's because generationally they come from families that have always been that way. And they obviously aren't in the middle of some sort of moral relativism where, oh, well, whatever. They really believe in right and wrong, and they treat people the way they want to be treated. And family dynamics as they pertain to adult survivors of childhood sexual abuse are much different. What we want to do, and Bobby, there is, like we were just showing you, there's that one page where you can. We want to equip you with the tools you need to deal with and to actually, in a healthy way, address your family members, be protected, be safe, and have healthy relationships with your family, even if you don't think it's possible.
Well, and maybe you're thinking, okay, the person who abused me wasn't a family member, so this must not apply to me. If it's someone that that your family knows, then I promise you there's going to be some guilt amongst your family for not protecting you. When a child is abused by a babysitter, a teacher, a coach, a neighbor, in all those circumstances, the family is going to feel some guilt and some shame for not protecting the child. And in that instance, you'll see the same kind of denying, minimizing, dismissing, because they don't want to accept the responsibility for not protecting you. Of course, there are those situations where a parent couldn't have possibly anticipated this would have happened. But oftentimes, in families like these, you'll see some neglect going on, or the child will go out to do something. The parent will go, phew, so glad they're not here. I'm not going to check on them. I don't care where they go, just as long as they're out of the house. And in that instance, there will be guilt. And so since they don't want to face that guilt, they're going to do the same kind of, you must be lying. Oh, that doesn't sound that bad. What's the matter with you? Put that behind you. I don't want to talk about that. I can't believe you're saying that. And you'll see some of the same kind of dynamics in a family, even when it's not a family member.
Yeah.
So let's look at this, go back to this one page. The one page will now talk about some, let's see here. Okay. What can a survivor do to protect themselves from toxic interactions with their family? So even though you're an adult, maybe your family is still denying what happened. Maybe they're putting you down. They are trying to ostracize you. They're blaming you for any. I see that so often, Athena, when clients come to me. Perhaps the adult parent is ill, and a sibling will say, the reason Dad's sick is because of you. You caused all this stress.
Yeah.
or, you know, dad's just sick because he wishes he had seen more of you and you caused all these problems. It can really be an awful situation for survivors to be in. So we want to set up some steps for you. We've got them here lined up. I'm going to move this up just a bit. And again, like Athena pointed out, this is on our website, nomoreshameproject.com, downloadables. You'll see all of the one-pages from all of our Google Hangouts and Twitter chats there. Go through them. You can download absolutely any one you want, as many times as you want. So that first one there is develop a system for reality checks. And it's interesting because Athena and I were talking earlier about this one, about how when you're a child and everyone denies what you say, when you know in your heart there's something wrong and they tell you no, there's nothing wrong, you lose your capacity to use your intuition or to trust your inner judgment, and you lose your discernment. So make sure that you have a team of people, some loved ones that you trust, who you can go to and say, now, just a minute, my sister just told me that the reason my dad is sick is because I caused so much stress. That can't be true, can it?
No.
Exactly.
I have to just stress this. I can't stress this enough, and that is, I have, even here where I live, you know, on the island of Maui, I have friends that I am in contact with, and I happen to know just through our friendships that that they're survivors, and they have kept silent and are choosing to still be silent and not say anything to their family members because they don't want to cause any stress on there. It was actually, they were sharing with me that they didn't want to, they thought it was a bad time to communicate with their perpetrator, and they had written a letter to their perpetrator to want to confront them and just let them know, you know, these are things that I remember. I do remember things that happened, etc. And this person happens to be a family member. But there was a death in the family and some other things had gone on, and there was a birthday and so on and so forth. And my friend actually said it just seemed like a really mean time to send that letter. Now, this is her perpetrator.
Yeah.
And
irony.
I mean, I completely understand where she's coming
absolutely.
because there's never a good time. There's never a good time to confront. There's never a good time to make waves or upset the apple cart or rock the boat. You know, there's so many times as survivors, our role, quote unquote role, that we subconsciously play in our families is the one of making sure everything is calm.
Exactly.
Making sure everything is kept together. And there's nothing wrong with that being, you know, whatever is going on with you and that's the role you're choosing to play, that's fine. But if it's a subconscious thing and it is causing you to be placed in unsafe situations or not taking care of yourself, or if it's perpetuating some sort of dysfunction, then you have to ask yourself, is this the right way for me to be acting? Is this okay that I am allowing myself to suffer further or not live my life to the fullest out of a fear of upsetting someone? And what Bobby was saying, you have to have that close inner circle of people, someone, anyone that you trust that can reflect back to you. No, that's okay that you're saying that. It's not all your fault that things aren't that things are wrong in your family. This is not all your fault. You didn't ask for this abuse. This is something that was done to you, not something that is wrong with you.
Right. This is not something that you caused, and it is very important. This team of people, these friends who will support you, it doesn't have to be a large number. It can even just be one person. But it is so helpful to have just that one person, two people, three people who can give you that reality check, who can reflect the truth back to you when you talk about things. But, you know, and Athena and I believe strongly that your recovery is in your hands. If you don't want to rock the boat and you consciously choose that, you don't choose it out of fear, but you choose it because that's what you really want to do, that's okay. What you choose, you can choose whatever you want as long as you consciously choose it and you're not choosing it out of fear or shame or because you don't want to rock the boat. Okay, whatever you want to do, it's within your power to do, and we'll support you 100%.
Hey, I have an idea, Bobby.
Huh.
So since I'm such a, like, I always like visuals and like role playing, and it just helps me to understand things a little bit better. Perhaps there are other people that are like that. So when we say develop a system for reality checks, have like a family member or a loved one that you can actually go to. I think I would like to sort of act that out with you so that they know what this might look like, because it's not a long drawn out process, guys. Like, we just want to equip you with some awesome tools. And so what this reality check might look like is, hey, Bobby, okay, I might be crazy, but I just need to run something by you right now. This is how I'm feeling. This is how I'm feeling, and I really feel like this is something that I want to do, and I want to say this, and I want to do this, but I'm afraid that I'm going to upset this person, or I'm afraid that they're going to not believe me, or they're going to think I'm lying, or something. And so I'm thinking maybe I shouldn't do this.
Okay, yes.
So then,
I lost you there for a minute.
I lost you.
Are you back?
I'm back.
Okay.
So I was just wanting to role play, and so people would understand, like, when we say, hey, you know, having those reality checks in place, like, it doesn't have to be this like formal system of you know, whatever in place, or like this committee of people that we contact. Like, it could literally just be a text message to a friend that's like, okay, am I crazy? Yes or no? This is what's going on. This is how I feel. This is what I want to say. This is what I want to do. And this is what the response is, or what I'm afraid of. Okay, am I crazy? And then Bobby would then respond.
No, absolutely not. It sounds like they're trying to blame you for something that wasn't your fault, Athena. I think you can go ahead and choose to do that. You're smart, you're strong, you're wise, and I don't think you should buy into what your family's trying to tell you.
Yeah,
there you go.
So that's kind of what it would look like. I don't know.
Exactly.
I feel
it's
like
not a tribunal. Absolutely, it's not a tribunal. You certainly, like very much what Athena is saying. It doesn't have to be anything formal at all. Okay, let's go on to limiting contact. Yeah. There are two ways that you can limit contact. You can limit contact by time or by circumstance, meaning, okay, so I don't have a good relationship with my sister. She blames me for what happened. She's angry with me. So I've decided that one time with her, it's only going to be half an hour at a time. That's it. That's as much as I can take. I'm going to set it at that, and then I'm going to disengage from her and leave. Or I can do it by circumstance. Okay, I'm going to meet with my sister, but I'm not going to meet with her in my home or her home. I'm going to only meet with her on neutral ground at a restaurant, a coffee shop, the park, whatever. But either way I go, by time or by circumstance, I'm going to limit my contact with her because she's toxic to me.
Yeah, I just had a situation like this come up for me. I had a trip to the mainland planned. I live on an island, and so going anywhere other than this island is a huge deal. And when I was on the mainland, I had some family time that I had planned out. And I have certain family members that, for whatever reason, I had to apply this principle. So what this principle might look like in real life, in real person, is I called this person ahead of time, this family member of mine, and I said, I really desire to spend some time with you. I desire to see you while I'm on my trip. And I want to propose that we meet at this restaurant.
Yes.
At this time.
Yes.
For this amount of time.
Perfect.
And I hope to see you there because it would mean a lot to me to spend some time with you.
Yes. You know,
and
so often sort of, it was intentional. You did it. You set a very intentional limit.
Yes.
Did it
limit.
Work?
Oh, yeah. That's what I wanted to stress, is that it was a limit. And it worked awesome because that small amount of time that we spent together, it was special. It was special. It was good. And I want to add that this was not my perpetrator. I want to add that this wasn't me meeting with my perpetrator, which by all means, if that's something that you're dealing with where you actually feel like you want to be in contact, You go, you meet with them. If that helps you in some way to make it real and sort of helps you in your healing journey, your recovery journey, then that is, we support you 100%.
Absolutely.
However, if
Absolutely.
this is any family member that you consider to be not as supportive, someone who isn't cheering you on, rooting you on, understanding that you are in recovery, understanding that these things really did happen, they matter. You're not lying. You're truthful. You're a person. You matter. If
Yeah.
it's any one of your family members that don't have those beliefs and they're not all for you and encouraging you and they're not adding value to your life, then we highly suggest you take this second principle into account and definitely limit contact either by circumstance or by time.
You know, and so often survivors think when we talk to them about toxic family relationships that we're going to insist that they cut off all contact with their family. And that's absolutely not what we would advocate, unless that's what you want. And that's, you're going to see that on the one page as the last option. You can do any of these steps in terms of limiting contact, having your relationship, your reality checks, and the other steps that we talk about. You don't have to, quote unquote, if you don't want to. Again, it's your power, and you get to make the decisions.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see what we have next. Am I making everybody kind of nauseous by switching back and forth here?
Oh, no, I think this is all really good stuff here. I think you're doing a great job. You're so fancy with your screen sharing. I just somehow am not able to do that. I do other things really good, but I don't do
You
screen
do.
sharing well.
You have mad skills. The next one is to declare topics off limits. So some family members, boy, have you heard the same argument enough times. Oh my goodness, absolutely. So just declare that it's pointless to continue to argue. It's pointless to bring up your position. They can't hear you. They're not going to hear you. They're not going to change. So declare some topics off limits. You know what? I'm not going to talk about that situation with you anymore. I love you. I want to spend time with you. But if you're going to keep talking about that particular topic, I'm not going to be able to see you. And it's perfectly okay. It's an absolute great way to handle people that you still want to be with. You love them, but they're just some topics that are fruitless to bring up with them.
And this doesn't always look the same, you guys. This isn't always the topic of, you know, only your abuse. This sometimes takes different shapes.
Absolutely.
Like when I was on the mainland, or even when I'm still here in Hawaii and I get some time to spend on Skype with family members that I really desire to spend time with because they're my family. And they spend their time talking about my perpetrator and how awesome he is and how altruistic he is because he does cancer walks and he cares so much. And I apologize for being so sarcastic and ridiculous, but I had to have a healthy boundary with my family members and say politely, respectfully, kindly, when you talk about this particular family member, it really hurts me. And I would prefer that you not talk about him to me anymore. I would be fine if you never talked about him at all. I have let go. I have forgiven him. I understand that doesn't do me any good to hold on to any rage and anger and desire to punish him. But it sort of crosses the line when you go on a little bit of a tangent about what an awesome person he is and what a great human being he is. So I need you to not do that anymore.
Yeah.
And that was a healthy boundary for me to set with my family members.
Absolutely.
And surprisingly, even though I didn't think they would, they haven't done it again.
That's great. You know, I have family members who say things like, are you still working with those survivor people? Why are you doing that? I think you're just kind of wasting your time. And so I'll set limits around those. You know what? I'm not going to go through that again with you. Let's talk about something else. And I change the subject. So you're right. It doesn't always have to be the direct issue of your abuse. It can be something, you know, even surrounding that. And that's perfectly okay to set some things as off limits. And if people can't respect that boundary, then you have the right to say, okay, you know what, I'm going to go talk to so-and-so now, and walk away.
Yeah.
Which is hard.
It is hard. It is hard because we as human beings, we naturally desire to have the approval or the love, especially from our parents and loved ones. So it is difficult to understand and even receive the fact that certain family members can't help themselves from minimizing your accomplishments.
Right.
And or a popular one that's in my family that a lot of you will resonate with is, oh, well, how's that little thing you're doing? How's that going? that little thing, that little project you're working on, how's that going?
Yeah, there you go.
And I want to say, oh, you mean my amazing, incredible, huge, awesome Survivor project, the No More Shame project? It's revolutionary. Did you know that Oprah had a 2-day episode on survivors of sexual abuse? You mean that little thing I'm working on? Yeah. Oh, that's going fantastic. Awesome. So, I mean, when I have people in my family that refer, or, oh, wow, people pay you for that? People pay you? Wow. It's just, people can't help themselves sometimes, whether it be from jealousy or just dysfunction in and of themselves. So it's not you. You are powerful, you're amazing, and you have value and skills, and you're uniquely gifted and talented, and there's no one like you, and you matter. And
absolutely.
If they don't see that, we do.
Exactly. Exactly. And we just kind of touched on this one just a bit. We talked about developing disengagement strategies. So when that person steps over a boundary, or when they start to say things that are denigrating or push you down, have some tools that you can use to disengage from them. Either remove yourself from the conversation or remove yourself from their presence. And I talk about things like, for example, if you're on the phone with your mother, you can say, wow, Mom, I just noticed the time. I have to go do blank. I will talk again later, and go ahead and end the conversation. Or if you're in person, oh, wow, I just remembered something important I wanted to tell so-and-so. Excuse me, and get up and go ahead and go over and talk to that person. When you have these phrases kind of worked out ahead of time in your head, it's much easier to pull them out and use them rather than think of something on the spot. Not all of us are on-the-spot thinkers, especially when someone is stressing us. And
especially when we're triggered.
Exactly. When we're triggered, when we're stressed. Yes, absolutely.
Being in the presence of family members and being triggered, which are usually synonymous with survivors, that can be very debilitating for us, and it can cause us to feel small and insignificant and incapable of functioning. And so literally and figuratively, write these down. If you can possibly be in a face-to-face situation, a lot of people don't have the luxury of living in the middle of an island, in the middle of an ocean, far, far away from all family. Although I do miss some of my family members, and they know who they are, and I miss them. But if you're in a situation in person, if you had them written down in your purse or wallet or wherever you put your car keys, and remind yourself as you put your car keys down, if you're pulling up to their house or what have you, or even if it's just a little piece of paper, anything, something that will trigger you to remember that you are empowered.
Yep.
You are in charge of you. You are in charge of your health, your mental, physical, emotional health. You are in charge.
Yes, and you're not the child anymore.
So many people I hear say, not even just survivors, but like everybody that I know of that goes to visit family, they say, whenever I'm around blank, I'm all of a sudden 15 or 18 years old again.
Yeah.
So you're in charge. You're in charge. You don't have to listen to it. You don't have to allow people to belittle you or berate you or be mean to you or make you feel small and insignificant. You can choose to say, oh, you know what? I just need to make a really quick phone call. I'll be right back. Yeah. And just change the subject. You can be polite about it. Even though you might be triggered in the moment, there is an opportunity for you there to grow. You will grow, and over time, you will automatically see it coming on, you'll see it coming on from a mile away, and you'll go, okay, in about 3.5 minutes, I am going to use the restroom.
Yes.
And you'll be able to just, you'll know what's going on, and you'll be able to remain untriggered and fully healthy eventually. It's going to happen over time.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. But have those strategies in mind, because when we get in that triggered fight or flight mode, we do tend to get a little bit flustered. And when we're flustered, we can freeze and remain in a situation that's not healthy for us, when instead it would be the best thing to get up and walk away.
Yeah.
So let's look at the next one. The next one is enlist a safe person. So this means that whenever you go someplace where you're going to encounter family members that could be toxic, take a safe person with them. Bring a safe, supportive person. And you can decide ahead of time. There's 2 ways that you can work with a safe person with your family. You can either ask them, and this is probably when when you're just starting in recovery, you don't have a lot of skills, you can ask them to intervene on your behalf, so that when a family member is putting you down, they're judging you, they're hassling you, this person can say, hey, I love so-and-so, I love my friend, I would really appreciate it if you would not use those kind of words, if you wouldn't talk to her that way. I'm going to have to ask you not to do that. You can ask that. That's absolutely okay.
This took me years to understand. This took me years. I always felt like I would be the black sheep of the family or be causing problems if I had someone like an advocate almost with me.
Right, exactly.
And the person that you decide to enlist as your safe person, they might not even always need to address it in a combative way, but you can ask them ahead of time. I know that you're the master of conversation. You're a great conversationalist. If you see me getting a little bit uncomfortable, could you please ask them about their favorite recipe for brownies? Or, hey, how about the 49ers or whatever?
Right.
You know?
Exactly.
But if that doesn't work, it's important to communicate your need to your safe person. If those deflective tactics do not work, I need you to protect me in this situation and ask so-and-so to please not speak to me in that tone of voice because it is harmful.
Exactly. And then hopefully you'll get to the point where, like Athena just talked about with disengagement strategies, you'll get to the point where you have used them often enough, you've had your safe person with you, intervening enough times, you're stronger, you've got more recovery ground underneath you, that instead your safe person can now be just a source of emotional support, an ally there supporting you rather than actually intervening on your behalf. And that's an excellent strategy as well. Even when you feel okay and you're doing well with your family, it's absolutely okay to take a safe person with you and have someone there who you know is going to be on your side no matter what.
Yeah.
Okay. I believe we're down. We're rolling.
We're rolling right along. We're way ahead of time. We're way ahead of time this week. Like last week, I feel like since we started late because our software wasn't working properly, I feel like we're a little bit behind the 8 ball the whole time. But this is fantastic. We might even be able to read some tweets. We have some tweets, you know.
I didn't know that. You're much better at watching that. You're a massive multitasker. The position of sometimes it's a position of last resort. Sometimes it's just a position that a survivor's comfortable with from the moment on, and where you just discontinue contact with either your whole family, specific family members, perhaps it's your perpetrator, whoever it is that you feel you need to discontinue contact with altogether. That's absolutely fine. You need to do what you need to do to take care of yourself, to protect yourself. It's okay to try and have contact with them, to try all these other strategies first and hope that they would respect your boundaries. And if they don't, then you have to say, you know what, I can't do it. It's too expensive to me. It's costing me my peace of mind. It's costing me my joy. It's costing me progress in my recovery. I can't do it.
Yeah.
As hard of a step as this is for survivors, sometimes this is the best thing for them to do.
Absolutely.
And it is hard because you'll have other family members that say, what's the matter? Why won't you talk to this person? He's great. He loves you. He misses you. You know, and you just have to say, well, you know, right now it's just not a good thing for me.
Oftentimes the guilt messages that family members use and guilt messages they send us, we can receive them as they are guilting us on purpose.
Yeah.
When in all actuality, it could just be the level of dysfunction that they are operating in is undetectable to them because it has been going on for so many years.
Right.
So the guilt messages that you receive from your family can be messages like, gosh, you know, that was 30 years ago. Don't you think that you could find it in your heart to just let bygones be bygones and just come to Thanksgiving? Can't you just be the bigger, better person with you? And their desire to keep the family unit together is
huge.
It's mutually exclusive from your health. They operate separately from one another in two separate little universes. They are more concerned with the overall picture or the feelings being hurt of the perpetrator or the family members that, we don't want to let everybody know that this is what happened.
Right.
And they're less concerned about you and your mental and emotional health.
Right.
And just, you know, it can mess with your psyche if you have a group of family members that are sending you guilt messages that you don't even know that they don't know they're sending you guilt messages. It's just how they operate. So we just want to encourage you and equip you that you are not alone. First of all, this happens to a lot of people. And you are powerful and equipped with respectful, kind, helpful tactics that you can take with you in your tool belt. And you can go, and if you choose to attend Thanksgiving and you feel completely awkward because your family members are treating you, et cetera, we're not suggesting for even a moment that you go and re-injure yourself and re-damage and quote-unquote erase all of your progress in your recovery, which isn't the case, actually. It doesn't erase all of your progress, but it feels like it at the moment. We're not suggesting that that's what you do, but we are suggesting that if you feel like you are going to live with some sort of regret and you're just ultra curious about what it would be like because you're just craving that family time, we're equipping you with these amazing tools to be smart, to take care of yourself, to be kind, to be respectful, and really show up in a way that's different. Because guess what? When you show up different to Thanksgiving, everybody around you changes. It's interesting because they can't show up the same way for so long.
And to be honest with you, it might really upset them if you don't play into their family dynamics. It is not unusual. I talk with my clients about how family members are like a solar system. And when one of the planets changes rotation, it automatically knocks the other planets out of alignment. And that's uncomfortable. And so they may very well have a significant backlash to you, and they may be very upset. And that's okay for you to be able to disengage a little bit for a while and let them settle themselves down. It doesn't mean you have to change. You're doing things right and healthy for you, but you might want to expect them to be a little upset about it.
Correct.
And that's okay. They can be upset.
Yeah. Oftentimes, Bobby, you and I have talked about this several times off the air, and that is us as survivors, we were groomed by our abusers to be people pleasers, to say yes no matter what, because we would be threatened. I'm going to hurt your family, I'm going to hurt you, I'll give you something to cry about, etc., etc., the list goes on. So that people pleaser inside of you that shows up different to Thanksgiving because you're getting healthy now and you're addressing your issues, you're taking care of your junk, you're working through it, not around it or under it, you're showing up different. And your automatic, your autopilot could trigger in going back into that people pleaser mentality, even though that you know it is not the best situation for you. But we want to share with you that you don't have to play the people pleaser role. You really don't have to. You can show up differently, and even though you might get some backlash, like Bobby was saying, people might treat you differently, or they might go on and on and on and on and on. When you would normally pick up on your lines, you would normally start to play your role whenever they would say a certain thing, and you're not playing into it. Instead, they'll try harder and harder and harder. And can you tell I'm speaking from first-hand experience? Because it happened to me like a couple months ago. So we want to encourage you that it's okay to not play your previous role.
Yep.
You do not have to be the people pleaser. Someone else will do it.
Yes, absolutely.
Someone else will.
They will shove someone into that role if they have to. They will force someone into it. And you know, if you get there and you have these strategies and you get flustered and triggered and you don't use them and you end up falling back into that people pleaser mode and you walk away, don't beat yourself up. Don't beat yourself up. It happens. Most of us have to try multiple times before we get to the place where we're 100% comfortable employing these strategies. So it's okay. It's absolutely okay. In fact, it's to be expected. If you get in there and you do it 100% the first time out, I'm impressed.
It doesn't always happen.
It's okay. No, it doesn't. It has to be what we call in the psychological field a series of successive approximations. How's that?
Series of successive approximations.
That's right. So each one is a little bit more approximate, a little bit more approximate, a little bit more approximate. You're going up the hill until you actually do the behavior that you intended to do.
Kind of like practice makes perfect, or riding a bicycle or something.
Exactly, exactly.
I mean, you're not always and forever going to need to show up to your family's house with little pieces of paper or writing on your hand. Because those are just your training wheels. Those are just your training wheels. And then after a while, you're not going to need your training wheels anymore. You're going to absolutely just know what to do. You're going to show up. You're going to be strong. You're going to have practiced healthy tactics that take care of yourself and that are, you know, of course, you're going to be respectful to others. You're going to be kind. You're going to treat others the way you want to be treated. But you're going to, above all else, you are going to make sure that you don't allow yourself to be mistreated by others, because you're not serving anyone if you do that.
Exactly. And this is an excellent time for Athena and I to remind you that we have online support groups for survivors. And one of the best things that comes from being in community with other survivors is the chance to practice new behavior. These are people who will understand if you make mistakes. They'll encourage you. They'll support you. When you learn those new behaviors, you go into the community, you practice those new behaviors. You get better at them. You get stronger. You get supported. You get encouraged. And I can't say enough. I know that both Athena and I believe strongly in the power of belonging to community. So if you're out there, if you're listening now on, and I'm not as good at these as you are, Athena, is it iTunes, Stitcher? If you're watching us on YouTube channel, contact us and let us know if you want to belong.
Oh, and SoundCloud as well. I forgot to welcome our listeners. In November, we're going to actually have this on a podcast that people can access from their car or their smartphone or their mobile device or what have you, or their tablet. And so I do want to let you know, if you are listening in on iTunes or Stitcher or SoundCloud and you would like to download this one sheet, the one page that we have for this particular episode, you would go to nomoreshameproject.com/downloadables, and you would look for family relationship one page, and that would be coinciding with this episode.
Yep. And if you want to contact us, if you want to get in touch with us to join one of the support groups, or for any reason whatsoever, Athena, can you see it up now? Is the Connect With Us information up there?
Yeah, I do.
Great.
I see it.
Great.
So if you're listening in and you would like to know how to contact us, up on our YouTube video, Google Hangout on air right now, we're showing you that you can reach us on Twitter, usually always, and both of our Twitters are up there. Bobby's is Truth Is Hers, and mine is Athena Moberg. And then you can reach us at our No More Shame Project at NMS Project. So, and then our email addresses are on there. You can reach us on our Facebook page, our website, nomoreshameproject.com, bobbyparish.com, athenamoberg.com. And we just we're here. We're here for you. The whole
Absolutely.
reason we're here is for you, and we love to serve you in this capacity. It is a joy for us. We look forward to this all week long because
We
we're
do.
so excited to add value to your life and to equip you with the tools necessary to live your lives in a way that is impactful and healthy. And we just know what a difference it makes when someone believes in us, and we just want you to know that we believe in you.
Well, and Athena and I have both been in recovery. I think at some point, I know I sat down and added up the years, that between our professional experience as trauma coaches and our own recovery, Athena and I have a joint years of experience of over 50 years. And some of that, I know at least for me, was spent spinning my wheels and not getting the help that I needed. And we have worked very hard to take the information that we have. We've gone out, we've researched new information, and we're putting that together to provide to you so you don't have to spend decades in recovery, so that you can get the help that you need, the support that you need, the community and the education that you need right now to feel better. And that's our goal.
Yeah, I have to give a shout out from last week's Google Hangout on Air, last week's YouTube video that you can find on our YouTube channel right now. We had a participant in our Google Hangout actually leave us a comment on our Google Plus page saying that he had learned just as much or more in the 1 hour we spent teaching than he had in 30 years of recovery or 30 years of counseling. I just can't tell you how that brought tears to my eyes, and just it is just such affirmation and confirmation of our life's work that is being poured out online, on PDFs, on websites, on Google Hangouts, on YouTube, on iTunes. Jack, I know you're listening because you have been tweeting away, and we just want to say we appreciate you, and it's people like you and just
The feedback
like us,
that we get.
the feedback.
Yeah.
We're just it just keeps us going. And if we've made a difference in your life, we just want you to know that that was intentional, and we believe in you, and we're just going to keep showing up every week until there's no one around. But we have viewers, we have listeners, we have tweeters and fans and followers, and there's a whole survivor community out there that is amazing and talented and gifted and just passionate and incredible. So thank you.
You bet. And we do have, since we've been doing our Twitter chat for almost a year now, we have a pretty large Twitter community. So the information you can see up on your screen right now, and for those of you who are listening, we're talking about our Twitter chat. That's on Tuesday evenings at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and use the hashtag #SexAbuseChat to participate. We'll use a different topic every week, and if you follow us on Twitter, we'll announce that topic usually 3 or 4 days ahead of time.
Yeah.
Next week, our topic is going to be when your abuser dies. So
that's a huge one,
guys. It's
guys.
going to be a big emotional topic.
Because the stats on death, I heard, Bobby, are 100%. I heard the stats on death are 100%. So everybody dies. So your abuser is going to die someday, and it's going to impact your life whether you think it will or not. It could be a blip on the radar, or it could be a spike on the radar. And either way, we are here for you. We are here to support you, and we just love you. We just think you're amazing. So yeah.
Feel free to participate in the Twitter chat, or feel free just to lurk. We have a large community of people who just lurk. And in fact, just last night after we signed off on the Twitter chat, I got 2 private messages from people saying, you know, I'm one of the person who lurks and just watches. Because every night we give a shout out. Every Tuesday night we give a shout out to the people who are just lurking. And we thank them, and we acknowledge they're there. And we're so thankful because these people, they're not ready to come out in the public.
And you know what? It takes a lot of courage to lurk. I know lurk is it's a word that people are not comfortable with because of lurking in the shadows or whatever, but lurking or just sitting back and watching our feed watching the Twitter feed go, watching our hashtag feed, that takes courage. You know why it takes courage and why it makes you a brave survivor just to watch that feed? Because words are powerful.
They are.
You can't unwrite those words. You can't unsay those words that are said. And when you read those words that are other people's truths and other people's experiences, there is a huge possibility and probability that you're going to be able to relate to them, and they're going to affect you, and there's a chance that you're going to be triggered. And we just want you to know that if you are watching, and if you are listening, and if you are participating or just lurking or what have you, when you are triggered someday, or when that day does happen, you're not alone. We're totally here for you. And we're just thankful. We're just thankful that you're brave enough to look, because it takes some courage to do that.
It does. It does. And if you're in a crisis, we do have a page on our website that talks about being in a crisis. But if you're in a crisis right now, the resource that we recommend time and time again that we just love is RAIN. And they can be reached at 1-800-656-HOPE, H-O-P-E, or they have a chat feature on their website, which is RAIN, RAINN.org. So check them out. They're a fantastic resource when you're in a crisis, or they can help you locate resources in your community.
Yeah. We're so grateful that you guys are here, and thanks for hanging out with us. And
you bet. We will see you next Wednesday night, same time, and we're going to talk about when your abuser dies.
Yes. So. And if you are watching this on YouTube and it's 3 in the morning and you can't sleep, and you've clicked on the button that says, "Are you in crisis?" on our website, and there's no video that pops up, I'm working on that. I haven't done the video yet, but I am getting ready to do that video. I have tons of video that I need to edit. So
we are a work in progress.
We are a work in progress. But definitely just know that you're not alone. Whatever you take away from any of this, you're not alone, and we have tools that can help you.
Absolutely. So reach out to us. That's why we're here.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you for being here.
Thanks, guys. We'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.